At 10:36 on the night of the 24th of October, 1944, a small wooden torpedo boat, PT-131, picked up a contact on its radar 3 miles away in the Mindanao Sea. 14 minutes later, her crew saw them through the dark. 2 Japanese battleships, a heavy cruiser, and 4 destroyers, in column, running east toward the southern entrance of Surigao Strait. 40 miles to the north, across the strait's northern mouth, 6 American battleships were steaming slowly back and forth in line. 5 of them had been under Japanese bombs and torpedoes at Pearl Harbor 3 years earlier. 2 of them, West Virginia and California, had actually sunk there, settling to the harbor bottom with their dead still aboard. Now they were waiting, and the Japanese were coming straight at them. 4 days earlier, on the 20th of October, General MacArthur's forces had landed on Leyte in the central Philippines. The Japanese answer was Operation Shogo 1, a plan to throw nearly everything the Imperial Navy had left at the invasion shipping in Leyte Gulf. Admiral Ozawa's carriers, stripped of most of their aircraft, would steam south as bait to pull Admiral Halsey's Third Fleet away. Admiral Kurita's center force, 5 battleships including Yamato and Musashi, would come through San Bernardino Strait from the north, and a southern force under Vice Admiral Shoji Nishimura would push through Surigao Strait from the south. The 2 pincers were to close on Leyte Gulf at dawn on the 25th. Nishimura had the battleships Yamashiro and Fuso, both commissioned during the First World War, the heavy cruiser Mogami, and 4 destroyers. Behind him, 25 to 40 miles astern, came a second force under Vice Admiral Kiyohide Shima with 2 heavy cruisers, a light cruiser, and 4 destroyers. Shima was not under Nishimura's command. The 2 admirals answered to different chains, kept radio silence, and never coordinated a thing. 2 Japanese forces would enter the same strait on the same night with no common plan. On the morning of the 24th, American carrier aircraft found Nishimura in the Sulu Sea. A bomb hit Fuso's fantail and burned out her float planes. Yamashiro took a damaging near miss. Then the aircraft left to concentrate on Kurita, and Nishimura pressed on. Far to the north that same day, Kurita was being hammered in the Sibian Sea. Musashi went down under 19 torpedoes and 17 bombs, and Kurita fell hours behind schedule. Nishimura knew the timetable was broken. He kept coming anyway, into a strait he knew was held, on a night with no moon. Waiting for him was Rear Admiral Jesse Oldendorf, commanding the 7th Fleet's bombardment group from the heavy cruiser Louisville. Shortly after noon on the 24th, Vice Admiral Kinkaid had sent him the order, "Prepare for night engagement." Oldendorf laid his force across the northern mouth of the strait like a stopper in a bottle. 39 PT boats strung down the length of the strait and beyond to find the enemy and report him. 28 destroyers along both flanks to attack with torpedoes. 8 cruisers, including the Australian Shropshire, in 2 flanking groups. And across the very top, steaming east and west, the battle line, West Virginia, Maryland, Mississippi, Tennessee, California, Pennsylvania. Every one of those ships except Mississippi had been at Pearl Harbor on the 7th of December, 1941, and the way each had suffered that morning now decided what she could do. West Virginia had taken 7 torpedoes and sunk at her berth, her captain dead on his bridge. California had taken 2 torpedoes and settled to the bottom over days. Both had been raised, towed to Puget Sound, and rebuilt from the frames up, and the rebuilds gave them the newest fire control radar in the fleet, the Mark 8, which could hold a target's range and bearing precisely in total darkness. Tennessee, heavily rebuilt as well, carried it too, but Maryland and Pennsylvania, the 2 least damaged at Pearl Harbor, had only been patched. They still carried the older Mark III radar, good on range, nearly blind on bearing. The ships the Japanese had hurt worst had come back the most dangerous. Oldendorf had one serious worry. His battleships had been loaded for shore bombardment, not a fleet action. Barely a fifth of their main battery shells were armor-piercing, and much of the rest had already been fired into the late beaches. Whatever happened that night would have to be short. Nearly everything known about what happened next comes from the ship's own action reports, the PT commander's log of the night, and the Japanese records of movement compiled afterward. Documents like those are what Warshelf is built from, a library of short books on the Second World War, one closed story per volume, each read down out of roughly 10,000 pages of records, every source named in the back. The link is in the description. At 6 minutes past midnight on the 25th of October, the moon set. The strait went fully dark, with a cloud deck at 3,000 feet and squalls drifting across smooth, warm water. Down that black corridor came Nishimura's column, and for 3 hours the PT boats attacked it in sections, section after section, boat after boat. Japanese searchlights snapped on. 5-inch shells straddled the plywood hulls, and not a single PT torpedo hit any of Nishimura's ships. But every section radioed what it saw. By midnight, Oldendorf knew exactly where the Japanese were, their course, and their speed. Nishimura's column drove the boats off again and kept its formation, and its commanders sailed on believing the worst of the gauntlet was torpedo boats. The destroyers were next. At 3 in the morning, Captain Jesse Coward's destroyer squadron 54 came down both sides of the strait at 30 knots, unseen. The eastern group, Ramey, McGowan, and Melvin, fired 27 torpedoes and turned away north, hugging the Dinagat shore. Minutes later, the western group, McDermott and Monson, fired 20 more into the Japanese port flank. At about 9 minutes past 3, 2 torpedoes from Melvin slammed into Fuso's starboard side. One struck abreast her forward turret, the other opened a boiler room. Power failed. She took a list, slowed to 12 knots, and fell out of the column into the dark. Nishimura, in Yamashiro ahead, apparently never knew. 10 minutes later, McDermott's spread arrived on the other side, and it became the most effective single destroyer torpedo salvo the United States Navy fired in the entire war. The destroyer Yamagumo blew up and sank. Mikishio was crippled and going down. Asagumo had her bow blown off. One torpedo from Monson hit Yamashiro herself. In the space of a few minutes, Nishimura's force of 7 ships had been cut to 3 that could still fight, and the American battle line had not yet fired a shot. At about 3:30, Nishimura sent a signal to Kurita and Shima, enemy torpedo boats and destroyers on both sides of the northern entrance. 2 of our destroyers torpedoed and drifting. Yamashiro has taken 1 torpedo hit, but can still make battle speed. Then he formed his 3 remaining ships, Yamashiro, Mogami, and the destroyer Shigure, into a short column and continued north. 1 minute after he sent it, another torpedo from the destroyer Killen hit Yamashiro amidships. She kept coming. Behind them, at around 3:45, Fuso rolled over and sank by the bow near Kanihan Island, taking roughly 1,620 of her 1,630 men with her. For 50 years, the history said she broke in half, and that both halves drifted, burning down the strait. When the wrecks were surveyed in 2017, she was found on the bottom in one piece, upside down. She had simply gone under, an hour before the battleship action began, killed by 2 torpedoes from a single destroyer. At the top of the strait, West Virginia's search radar had held the Japanese since they were 44,000 yards out. At 3:10, her Mark 8 fire control radar locked onto the largest target and never let go. Her gun crews stood loaded and trained for 40 minutes while the range wound down. Nishimura was steaming in column directly toward a line of battleships crossing his path broadside on. The maneuver naval officers had studied for half a century as crossing the T. Every American gun could bear. Only the Japanese forward turrets could reply, and the Japanese could not see any of it. They had no radar fire control at all. They fought with searchlights, star shell, and gun flashes. At 3:51, the cruisers opened fire. At 3:52 and 10 seconds, West Virginia fired her first salvo, 8 16-inch armor-piercing shells at 22,800 yards, and her action report says the first salvo hit. Tennessee and California joined at 3:55, and the 3 rebuilt ships, the 3 with the Mark 8, poured out salvo after salvo on radar alone, firing at gun flashes and a green blip in the darkness. Maryland could not find the target with her old radar, so she ranged on the shell splashes of the ships ahead and got off 6 salvos. Pennsylvania, the ship that had sat in dry dock at Pearl Harbor and taken a single bomb, never found a target at all. She went through the last battleship action in history without firing her main battery once. Yamashiro was smothered. Shells struck along her length. Fires broke out from bow to stern, and still she fired back, her 14-inch turrets working by searchlight. And still she came on, working up past 18 knots. Around 4 o'clock, the destroyer Albert W. Grant, closing to 3 miles to launch torpedoes, was caught in the crossfire between the fleets. She took 22 hits, many of them 6-inch shells from the American cruiser Denver, and went dead in the water with dozens of dead and wounded aboard. At 4:09, Oldendorf ordered ceasefire to save her. 1 minute before that order, Mississippi, the one ship in the line that had not been at Pearl Harbor, fired a single full salvo, 12 14-inch guns at 19,790 yards. She had not yet received the ceasefire. It was the last salvo a battleship ever fired at another battleship. In 15 minutes, the 6 battleships had fired 285 major caliber rounds. The 3 rebuilt Pearl Harbor ships had fired 225 of them. At 4:11, 2 torpedoes from the destroyer Newcomb hit Yamashiro's starboard side. She stopped, listed, and at 4:19 she capsized and went down with Vice Admiral Nishimura and about 1,636 of her crew. Roughly 10 men ever made it back to Japan. His body was never found. Shima arrived into the wreckage minutes later. He had come up the strait behind Nishimura, fired 16 torpedoes at radar contacts that were almost certainly islands, and now, seeing burning oil and shattered ships, decided the battle was lost and turned around. In the retreat, his flagship Nachi collided with the crippled, burning Mogami and tore open her own bow. Mogami somehow kept moving south, was bombed after daylight, and was scuttled by a Japanese torpedo that afternoon. The Bolas Asagumo was sunk by gunfire at 7:21 that morning. Of Nishimura's 7 ships, 6 were on the bottom within 12 hours. Only the destroyer Shigure escaped, and a submarine sank her 3 months later in the Gulf of Siam. American losses for the night came to about 39 killed and over 100 wounded, most of them aboard Albert W. Grant, hit largely by American shells. 1 PT boat was lost. Among the destroyers that had fired torpedoes at Yamashiro that night was USS Benyon, named for Captain Mervyn Benyon, the commanding officer of West Virginia, killed on his own bridge at Pearl Harbor. His widow had christened the ship. At Surigao Strait, the destroyer bearing his name and the battleship he died on attacked the same Japanese battle line within the same hour. There was no time to savor any of it. Within 3 hours of the ceasefire, frantic signals were coming in from the north. Kurita's center force, which Halsey had assumed was beaten, had come through San Bernardino Strait in the night, unopposed, and was falling on the escort carriers off Samar. Oldendorf turned his battleships north, short of armor-piercing shells and hours too far away. The most complete surface victory of the Pacific War had sealed the wrong door. 10 months later, on the 2nd of September, 1945, the Japanese delegation signed the surrender aboard Missouri in Tokyo Bay. Anchored in that bay among the Allied fleet was West Virginia, the ship that had been sunk at her berth on the first morning of the war and had returned to fire the opening battleship salvo of its last night action. She was the only battleship present at both.